Rugby!
Isn't it just typical? Just as the Lions go on a 4-game winning run, I get sick, so I can't cover most of it. Let's just start with the URC, before I get another version of laryngopharyngitis, which is apparently how you pronounce that. What a pleasure it is to have the crowds back in the stadiums in South Africa. And this time it was a lovely crowd for the Bulls versus Stormers game in Cape Town over the weekend. This is the SA Rugby version of Munster versus Leinster, or maybe the Crusaders versus the Blues, or Paris versus Lindsay. It is a big rivalry and South Africans watch it with interest. As always with these two teams, it was a game punctuated by hard hits and good defense, with some lovely tries sprinkled on top. Expect to see a few future Springboks coming out of these two squads. Also, congrats to the Stormers for winning and going to the top of the South African Shield. They really have gotten a lot better. Match 2, and ain't it just typical? As soon as I'm healthy enough to make videos again, the Lions get smashed by the Sharks in Durban in the rain. If you ever want to see why a kicking game is very important in the rain, watch what the Sharks did to the Lions on the weekend. The Sharks attacking kicks touched more grass than a bunch of hippies grounding, while the Lions kicks could find nothing but the safe, reassuring hands of the Sharks back three. Pain ensued for Lions fans. Also, the Sharks forwards were brutal. Really brutal. The final URC game over the weekend was between Cardiff Rugby and the Scarlets of Llanelli, which I still love saying, Llanelli. It all started so well for Cardiff Rugby. They scored 2 early tries and kept the Scarlets nulled for most of the first half. Unfortunately for the hosts, the visiting Scarlets did figure out how to score, and then they did not stop scoring until they made 49 points in 40 minutes, which is a lot. The Scarlets are good, but Cardiff are not supposed to be that bad, especially not at home. Many teeth must have been gnashing in the Welsh capital. Gnash. And those were all the URC games of the past weekend. And there's only one coming up this weekend with the Scarlets versus the Dragons. So what am I, an URC follower, supposed to report on next week? Especially after reporting on nothing for 2 weeks thanks to my diseased body. It's just typical. Let's go to the news to figure out if there's a reason why there were only 3 URC games this past weekend and why there's only one coming up. Oh, it's that Champions Cup thingy that's happening in Europe again. That makes sense. This past weekend, the first leg of the round of 16 happened, and all the big boys won, except maybe Toulouse, who lost to Ulster. I guess URC Best League. Super Rugby Pacific is also going gangbusters. The Brumbies are currently leading the way, but we all know how this is going to end. That guy Robertson will be doing his little breakdance, and the Aussie teams will be angry at South Africans for somehow losing all their games against the New Zealanders again. This is the way. At least COVID doesn't seem to be causing too many issues anymore. But with all the red cards flying around, it might be safer to get the flu and sit out a game than going on the field and getting your head bashed in. I don't think this 20-minute red card thing is changing the behaviors, guys. And finally, the first Springbok alignment camp ended today. I cannot find a list of players who are at this camp, but everyone else seems to be able to, because everyone else seems to be upset about people that aren't there. Favorites like Evan Ruiz and Vincent Chituka aren't there, and Ninaubert has confirmed that he'll be picking mostly from the 2019 World Cup old guard. This is making people lose their minds. I'm choosing to stay above the discourse because it makes me feel smart. And also, there's way too much rugby between now and the World Cup. There's no way of knowing who's going to get picked and who's going to get injured, so why get upset? Just chill. Anyway, that was the rugby update for this week, after a few weeks off being sick. Gotta get back into the swing of things. Wait, was that in the shot this whole time? Typical! Fucking typical!